Hey YouTube, Holland227 here again. I told you guys I'd be back to do one more video, and I'm going to go ahead and get it up. This one is not going to be a long one because I've only got 2 games to go over. This is what I picked up Saturday, which was about 4 days ago. No, I'm sorry, it was Monday. It was my day off. It was Monday. I apologize for that. I had to go out to my parents' house to install a phone line under their house. So I stopped at the local video trader in town, well, one of the better of the two that has a bigger selection. They're known for kind of overpricing games, but what people don't realize about the one that I go to is they're overpriced because they put their trade values on them. If you're paying with cash, a check, credit card, debit card, they're going to work with you. Usually, you can get 25 to 30% off. If you do a lot of shopping there, they'll go up to 50. I saw 2 games in there. I had to have. One of them I owned a long time ago. The other one I had never owned, and I always wanted to. Let's go over the one that I never owned before. I used to read about this in a copy of Nintendo Power years ago, which unfortunately I don't have any of my Nintendo Powers, which is sad because I probably had about 100, but they got ruined in a storm, so that sucked. They were out in my garage. Our garage had never leaked for 2.5 years. Finally, boom! One day out of the blue, it's wet everywhere, including on my magazine. So that really sucked. But the game I'm talking about, and the cartridge is in decent shape, is Populous for the Super Nintendo. Let me tell you what I think about Populous. On paper, Populous looks like a great idea. Maybe if I had the instruction manual, it would be a great idea. I don't have the instruction manual. Bad idea. Now I remember why Acclaim got crap about a lot of their games, and this is one of them. In the tutorial, okay, I figured, oh, tutorial, tell me what to do. Nothing. It gives you a bunch of water, and it says, here you go. I don't even know what to do in the tutorial. Where's my land? Where's my guys? How do I build land? I fooled around with the tutorial for about a couple of minutes, got aggravated, hit reset. Okay, let me do the conquest. Okay, maybe the conquest is going to tell me what, gives me something to do. So I get it set up, it gets me in the computer. We go to World 1. I got 2 guys, some land. The land's mapped out, awesome. I'm like, oh, cool. And they immediately start building houses. I'm like, awesome, okay? So, on the left hand and the right hand side and the corners are all your commands. Problem is, you don't know what they do. Because when you click on them, it don't list them. Now, some of them I can tell. With the arrow up on the land, raise the land. Down, down, put mountains in, make water. I gathered all that. The Z's is probably pause. The big skull is probably some kind of death. But other than that, I don't get it. I don't know what the goal is. I'm going to have to do some Game Facts review because I don't know what the hell's going on. If I could find my old Nintendo Power, I would probably rip it to shreds for giving me such a great game to look at on paper and a great idea to this utter piece of garbage I played. Maybe if I knew what I was doing, but I don't. That's my little rant on that game. I may even turn that into a review. I don't know. The second game, however, is a game I love. I've had this game before. I probably traded it off in the past. I had to pick it up, and it's Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. I really like the flow of this game. I like the fact I don't have to have a giant party and decide who I need in what situation. I'm a hardcore Final Fantasy fan. I played Final Fantasy 1 on the Nintendo, was hooked ever since. I am Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 2, Final Fantasy 3, and now Mystic Quest. On the Game Boy, I am Final Fantasy Legend 1 and 2. I thought I had Adventure, but I must be wrong. I had Final Fantasy Tactics on the Game Boy Advance, Final Fantasy Tactics on the PSP. So there's no doubt I'm a Final Fantasy fan. But this one is easier out of all of them. I like how anybody could pick this game up that has any knowledge of video game play and can enjoy a good story. It can play through this game. The non-random battles, being able to be prepared for your enemies is really good for beginners. The other thing is the battle system. I like the battle system with the 2 at the back. Set everything up, and then initiative, or however they decide it. It's usually by agility and speed in most games. But I like the fact that your main character stays the same, and you encounter characters that'll join you, leave you, join you, leave you, join you, leave you. But you don't have to have 5 guys in your party. 2 guys is awesome. That's makes it so simple. I love the battlefields. I know they're tiresome to play, all the battlefields, but you get some really good rewards out of a lot of them. So these are the 2 games I picked up. Now I'm going to talk about the place I bought it. They call the place Video Trader. I think it's Brian's Video Trader, but we've always called it Video Trader because that's what it's always been. It's been under different management several times. Anyway, I walked in, and I stop in there at least 2 or 3 times a week. I usually buy maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, because of the way I get paid. But they know me in there. A couple of them know me by name. I can go in there and chat about games, and they're really knowledgeable about their games. However, it looks like a rundown shack in the inside. But this new management has everything jumbled up, but they're easier to work with. Anyway, I stopped in there. I had to go out to my parents' house. I'm figuring, why not stop in? Maybe I'll see something I need. So I get to looking around, and I see, first thing I see is Populous. I'm like, okay, $11.99. Like, damn, that's expensive. But these guys are cool. They'll work with me. I'll see what I can do. So I'm looking around the store, some other stuff. I see some PSP stuff, but I haven't been playing my PSP a lot. I've been playing my Super Nintendo, my 64. I've been playing my retros a lot. So I get to looking, and I'm like, ooh, Mystic Quest, $20. Like, I know I can get a copy offline with shipping for roughly 10. Sometimes I can get the manual and stuff for 15. But I always seem to lose out on the Final Fantasy auctions. And I don't want to pay some flat costs. There's a lot of the old retro sites are like $55. I'm like, it's not Final Fantasy 3 or Final Fantasy 2 complete, it's Mystic Quest. So I'm like, alright, $36 total for these 2. I'm like, I could probably talk him down. So I go up to the guy and I'm like, hey, what's up? The guy I knew. And I'm like, these are $36, Mark. And I said, but I'm paying with cash today. He's like, alright. I was like, what can you do? So he looked at Populous and he's like, I can do Populous for $6. I'm like, awesome. Like, what about Mystic Quest? He goes, man, it's a Final Fantasy game. So I was thinking of him saying maybe $5 off. No, it was $24.99. That's what it was. That's what it was, because the total was $36. Yeah. Yeah, it was $24.99. So I'm thinking, man, he's going to knock, $18, $17. And if he would have did that, I wouldn't have done it. But he's like, man, I could probably go 15 on it, so knocking $10 off. So he's like, you're looking at 21 and some change plus tax. And I'm like, I said, how about this? I said, I got a $20 bill in my pocket. He's like, I can do it for 20, but you gotta pay the tax. It makes it $21.40. I'm like, oh no. I said, all I got's 20, brother. So he's thinking about it. I'm like, think about it. I said, I'll wait here. And then the phone rings, and it's somebody asking a question about a game release and all this and that. And he's looking at me. I said, hey, $20, or I'll put him back. I can wait. And he's like, all right, cool, good, $20. So I talked him $16 down, which for these 2 games, if I knew Populous was so bad, I would have just burned it in sight. Hopefully I can figure out how good of a game it is, because it's got a ton of levels, but I can't figure them out. So that's my out and about story. Those guys are pretty cool. Knocking $16 off was awesome. I consider that a win in my book. Anyway, as always, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Be on the lookout for a new video. I still got my Game Boy Advance stuff I got to do with my Game Boy Color. I also have a Neo Geo Pocket Color review that I can do. Other than that, I think I'm just about out of system collection reviews. and then I can start working on some gameplay stuff, which is going to be awesome. So look for that in the future. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and have a good day.